centre of our year of festival was London's Southbank exhibition. The King was welcomed by Mr. Attlee and Mr. Churchill as Premier and Leader of the Opposition. Before the year was out, they were to reverse roles. Among the 8 million visitors was the Queen Mother. In all, 250,000 people came to Britain from overseas to see the exhibition. The weather was very unkind that opening day. Remember? Battersea Festival Gardens got away to a flying start and never looked back. Highlight of Scotland's celebrations was the March of the Clans. In Wales, the International Festival was an outstanding success. Throughout Britain, in town and village, we showed the world something of our island life. At Avonmouth, fire threatened to destroy the vast oil storage installation, but fine work by firefighting crews saved 90% of the valuable oil and equipment. At sea, the British submarine Affray disappeared with 83 men on board. After months of search, the wreck was found by underwater television. When the breakfast special jumped the rails and crashed at Weedon, 11 were killed, 50 seriously injured. The Grand National lived up to its name as the world's toughest race. Remember the crashes at the first fence? Nickel Coin and Royal Tan, winner of the Irish National a fortnight earlier, were the only two who didn't fall before the end of the race. And here's the finish, with Nickel Coin winning easily from Royal Tan. At Epsom, the Derby once again eluded Gordon Richards. Experts thought Mr. Lyon would be the first Chinese Derby winner. But with Charlie Spares up, Arctic Prince won very easily for Irishman Joseph McGrath. Monsieur Boussac, who won 5 classics in 1950, had to be content with only the Ledger. At Silverstone, Pathe exclusively recorded the crash of the year. Randolph Turpin shook the boxing world when he beat Sugar Ray Robinson in London. Here he's off to New York, where he lost the return bout. At Daytona Beach, British motorcycles swept the board. Most of the others seemed to sweep the floor. In the air, Britain had a good year. Valiant, our new 4-jet bomber, impressed the experts. She made her public bow at Farnborough. Reports say she can carry atom bombs if the need ever arises. And we've got some Delta-winged fighters going through their paces too. This is the Avro doing her stuff, flying just like a bat out of Farnborough. We broke some records too. Test pilot Ricketts set a new speed of climb record when his Meteor shot 7.5 miles up in 3 minutes. And a Canberra broke the Atlantic crossing record on delivery to an American factory where this grand machine is to go into production for the United States Air Force. The new British 280 rifle impressed foreign experts with its high speed of fire, 84 aimed rounds a minute. We completed the largest oil refinery in Europe at Fawley near Southampton. Built to save dollars, it will replace much of the Abadan petrol we're not getting. And at Corby, Northants, the British-built world's largest dragline grab is speeding up the output of iron to boost our steel production. It's hard to judge its size from the picture, but the jib arm is nearly 100 yards long. Persia suddenly became a centre of vital interest. At Abadan, we had built the world's largest oil refinery, employing more than 60,000 persons. While new terms for Persia were under discussion, a nationalization law amounting to virtual confiscation was put into action by Premier Mossadegh. Soon, riots broke out. In the end, we were forced to evacuate our £500 million property. Soon after, Egypt revoked her treaty to Britain and proclaimed Farouk King of Egypt and the Sudan. Under the treaty, the Suez Canal zone was British-controlled to guard the vital east-west ocean shortcut for the use of the world. About 9,000 ships a year pass through the canal. Egypt demanded immediate withdrawal of British forces, and terrorists began to attack our men. Villages had to be searched to rout out snipers. Ambushed, sniped, stabbed in the dark, our men have a difficult task against murder gangs and other threats. Now Egypt has withdrawn her ambassador. Back from Korea, we welcomed men who earned America's highest unit award for bravery in the field, the Gloucesters. But they'll be the first to tell you that all our boys out there are doing a wonderful job. At home, Mr. Attlee's government resigned and asked electors to send them back with more power. In a close fight, the Conservatives won with an overall majority of 19, and Mr. Churchill became Prime Minister with Mr. Weedon in charge of foreign affairs. But if any expected a sudden change, they were soon disappointed. Britain is in real difficulties, the new team reported. From us all, she needs harder work, and above all, unity. To Britons the world over, the royal family is the link which unites. And we rejoiced on the 21st birthday of the King's younger daughter, Princess Margaret. It was a shock to the world when the King suddenly returned to Buckingham Palace for an immediate lung operation. That Sunday, as the royal surgeon, now Sir Clement Price Thomas, left looking anxious, we anxiously awaited the bulletin. But all was well, and the King made such good recovery that Princess Elizabeth and the Duke of Edinburgh could begin their Canadian tour starting at Montreal. A royal progress that was to swell to an amazing success because of the charm of the royal tourists. Vancouver, they had crossed Canada from east to west. Returning to Montreal, Princess Elizabeth and the Duke had the biggest reception of their tour. It was from Montreal that they flew to Washington and found a warm welcome from President Truman and the people of America, who have been such good friends to us in these difficult years. And now we end 1951 at Sandringham, where the King has spent Christmas. As the new year dawns and each lengthening day brings His Majesty greater strength, let us end with the old toast, long live the King.